Irish guy, and everyone loves a freebie, right? Lads, I can probably convince you to accept a sausage roll that I had stuffed on my sock for a month because it's free. So today, I'm going to do a challenge. I'm going to matchmake every Premier League club with a free agent. Somebody who would cost less than a moldy chicken nugget. But lads, I appreciate this is going to be a tough challenge. Because some of these players, they're currently free for a reason. Right, let's go. Arsenal, Raphael Varane. Okay, so I had an entire speech planned out over why Arsenal should give Thiago Alcantara another crack at the Prem, and then he just retires, just choosing to sit at home eating Pop-Tarts with his dog. Okay then, moving on from that one. I tried to resurrect his career, but fair enough. Why then? Why then don't Arsenal sign Raphael Varane? Yeah, stealing a French centre-back from Manchester United on a free. This feels very Mikel Sylvester 2008, but Varane, he's worth 5 Sylvesters? Look, you might think that this man will have crippling wage demands. But I don't think so, because right now, he's currently in talks with Serie A minnows Como, the Italian Wrexham. He's entertaining chats with Dennis Wise. He could be about to join a squad where he'll become teammates with Liam Kerrigan, formerly of Sligo Rovers. Like, come on. I don't think Varane is exactly asking them for a free yacht. Arsenal already have a rock-solid defense, but if you can get a former Real Madrid superstar to agree to sit on the bench and provide cover, I'm sorry, but he would be sickening squad depth to get Varane on a free. Lads, a few years ago, your third choice was Socrates Papadopoulos. Come on, go and give Rafa a ring. Aston Villa, Marco Reus. Why not? Aston Villa are in the Champions League now. Start acting like it. What this squad massively lacks is European experience. How many of these players actually know how to navigate their way through a Champions League campaign? I mean, Ross Barkley had a few minutes in that competition with Chelsea, and largely just looked like some unfit misfit who'd eaten too many pancakes the day before. He looked like a cousin of the Cookie Monster. But Marco Reus is a Champions League hero. He has reached the final with Borussia Dortmund twice. He even played every single match in their Champions League run last season. At 34, even scoring against AC Milan and PSV. I know he is massively over the hill, and he's probably chosen to quit Dortmund after 12 long years for a comfy payday in America. He probably wants the nice, chill, swanky lifestyle where he can put his feet up. I'm well aware that he'd probably treat an offer to go and live in Birmingham as if it was a prison sentence, in a jail where he'd have to share a bed with a human cannibal. But if Villa can tempt him with the prospect of more Champions League football, then what an option to spring from your bench. Although at his age, get him off the wing and turn him into a second striker, he would cost less than a Lucasade. Worth a punt? Bournemouth, Wissam Ben Yedder. Lads, the amount of quality freebies out there. Why are these players not being snapped up already? Wissam Ben Yedder is another one who's cheaper than toffee popcorn. He is a 33-year-old striker whose numbers in European football have been underrated for years. I mean, these have been his end of season numbers since 2013 for Toulouse, Sevilla, and Monaco. 15, 17, 15, 23, 18, 22, 30, 19, 22, 32, 25, and even last season, a cool 20. The man has scored 259 goals and registered 78 assists in his 513 career games. Get him to Bournemouth now. Having the likes of both Enes Unal and Ben Yedder ready to come off the bench and provide a goal threat for the Cherries. 2 former La Liga goal machines. What a signing this man would be. Brentford, Clichy, Iheanacho. Okay, look, I'm not even excited about this suggestion. Look, some of these guys are free agents for a reason. Trying to pair them up with Premier League jobs is probably like going down the dole office and promising everyone a job. What, even the guy at the back who's got his mum's head in a lunchbox? Not everyone can be saved, alright? So I don't actually expect Kelechi Iheanacho to get a Premier League move. What was once the original Gabriel Jesus at Man City, he since offered up a really dreadful goal return for Leicester. This was a marquee, big money, huge coup in 2017, but since then, in 6 of his 7 seasons, he has failed to score more than 5. Even last season in the championship, that is awful. But he is only 27. If the Bees are forced to sell Ivan Toney this summer, then Iheanacho, getting him in for the same price as a sneeze, Thomas Frank could do worse, right? I mean, wow, back in 2015, he had a 1 in 3 goal return for Man City. When he was scoring in the Manchester Derby at 19, I did not think that in less than 10 years' time, I'd be bending over backwards trying to convince Brentford fans to take him. No, it's a bit like one day thinking you'll need to talk Burnley fans into accepting Julian Alvarez. Brighton, Wilfred Ndidi. Look, Wilfred Ndidi is not a world beater in midfield. But again, like Iheanacho, he is also a 27-year-old Nigerian international who just left Leicester on a free. I don't know, he's clearly not good enough to force his way into Brighton's midfield. I don't know, would it be worth having a bit of meaty steel on the bench? Fabian Herzler bringing him on to try and close out games in the final 15 minutes? Who are we kidding? That hipster coach would probably ignore such an obvious suggestion to instead knit his own midfielder out of wool, Chelsea David De Gea. Look, I realize this one doesn't makes total sense, but I'm just so sad for David De Gea. The man has been locked out of football. I mean, for someone who is so desperate to quit Manchester United for Real Madrid, to have since had that dream spoiled by Thibaut Courtois, it just seems nutty to think that at 33, this man has been sitting at home, unemployed, for a year. It doesn't feel right. For so long at Old Trafford, his contract probably felt like handcuffs. I mean, if there was no such thing as long-term deals, he would have been free to get himself to the Bernabeu. So it's quite ironic that once he's finally released from the shackles of that deal, he's got nothing lined up. Look, Chelsea have 2 first-team goalies. Neither one convinced me. I know plenty of fans like Jordan Petrovic, and they probably think I've got chocolate muffins for brains when I say I don't, but am I the only one who can see that he is error-prone? And Robert Sanchez, he is about as exciting as burnt tea. So bring in De Gea on a short-term deal, and surely this Manchester United legend, somebody who was once held up as the best goalkeeper in the world, surely he'd be an upgrade, right? Come on, this guy in his final 10 years at Manchester United only missed 21 Premier League games. So to think of him rotting at home watching Mr. Bean on loop and practicing kissing techniques in his teddy bear, I feel for the guy. Crystal Palace Ryan Sessegnon. Well, this one just makes sense. Like so many of these free agents, Ryan Sessegnon has had a tough few years. He's like a forgotten teddy bear who had an injury-plagued disaster spell at Spurs. Don't forget, this is a kid who had Barcelona interest while at Fulham. He was one of the most sought-after teenagers in world football. He goes to Tottenham and manages just 38 games in Premier League football, spread out over 5 years. Half a decade's worth of work that he would be able to fit into one season that he just stayed at Fulham. Lads, the proof how sad his downfall was. Euro 2024 should have been his time. This is the epitome of a left wing back and someone who was tipped to be in Celtic at 12 for the 2018 World Cup when he had only just turned 18. If he had realised his potential, he would be the answer to England's left back problem at the Euros this summer. It would be him, not a nearly 40-year-old Kieran Trippier at left back. But now instead, not only is he not in the England squad, but he doesn't even have a job. Go on, Palace. Snap him up and get him on your bench. Come on. He's a Guinness World Record holder. Fastest time to hit both football posts and the crossbar. He did it in 7 seconds. Please don't let that be the crowning achievement of his career. Just being tossed into the same book as some sad sap who's eaten 13 pies in 1 minute. Everton Che Adams. Some transfers are just written in the stars. Some are just destiny. Che Adams needs to play for Everton before he retires because it is literally his name. His middle name is Everton. If that's not someone who wasn't predestined to rock up at Dixon Park, I don't know what is. But Adams, this bulky striker, is out of contract at Southampton, and he seems like a like-for-like replacement with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Someone who's had interest from Newcastle and AC Milan. Don't get too excited, Dom. Jeff Hendrick had the exact same interest from those two in 2020, and he's now also unemployed. And here's a spoiler. He doesn't make this list. Not even I can fight his case. I mean, I'll recommend him for a job at HMV if he wants, but not on the Premier League pitch. So yeah, go on, Sean Dyche. Doesn't Adams just seem like his perfect dream striker? Full of Eric Lamela. Look, whenever I have doubts about tipping some of these washed up stars to even join mid-table Premier League clubs, I just look at Willian as the amazing example. He was the epitome of being finished after being a rotten milkshake at Arsenal. Then he was so bad that he was actually chased out of Corinthians in Brazil by his own fans. He should have failed at Fulham. But now he's been great. And so yeah, considering he's nearing towards an exit after rejecting a new contract, probably due to the fact that he's still sulking about being denied his megabuck Saudi move a year ago, then just replace him with Eric Lamela. Remember that ex-Tottenham winger who lived in London for 8 years? Surely he likes the area. He's just been released by Sevilla. But come on, at just 32, he's probably got some magic left in his feet. The likes of him and Andres Pereira strutting their South American swag on the same pitch, with Lamela attempting Rabonos from 30 yards out. Go on, Fulham, it's worth a freebie punt. Ipswich Town, Steve Mounier. Look, I think Ipswich Town are actually looking at the 29-year-old Benin international striker Steve Mounier, who you might remember from his couple of goal-shy seasons in the Prem with Huddersfield. Look, he is not a natural goal scorer, barely a 10-goal-a-season striker in his 4 seasons back in France with Brest, but come on, Ipswich, you just need to get bodies through the door. Just drag him in on a free. Liverpool Mats Hummels. Look, Mats Hummels seems like a problem child, a 34-year-old German monster of a centre-half who has been complaining a lot. Apparently having a bust-up with his own manager Erdin Terzic minutes before the actual Champions League final. After criticising his own manager's tactics in public, he then apparently gives Dortmund an ultimatum that either he leaves or Terzic leaves. Yeah, Dortmund then get rid of both. He also says that he feels insulted to be left out of Germany's Euro 2024 squad, as I'm currently one of the best 5 defenders in Germany. This feels like when Dejan Lovren called himself world class. Look, he is still a good player. I know he turns 36 in December, but he was outstanding during Dortmund's Champions League run. He is a world champion centre-back with 5 Bundesliga titles. And I know it would be strange for Arne Slot to buy some Jurgen Klopp memorabilia. Hummels is clearly a Klopp boy. So it would be like somebody adopting the dog of their new girlfriend's ex-husband. But still, what an amazing option this man would be on the Liverpool bench. And I mean, after trying to buy him for so many years, boy, would this one annoy the Man United fans. Man City, Adrian Rabiot. Yeah. Man City don't need any free transfers. They almost have the perfect squad, so they don't need to be scraping deals on bargainbins.com. This would be like me suggesting that Britney Spears should route through her local skip to get some dirty mattress for free. Nah, I think she has enough money, lads. But maybe if I had to pick one, 29-year-old central midfielder Adrien Rabiot has finished up after 5 years at Juventus. I mean, he's a regular France international, and he's someone who was already in the Man City Academy back in 2008. I mean, he's got a combined 400 plus appearances for European heavyweights like PSG and Juventus. Maybe he's worth a seat on the City bench, but City don't really need him. Or his annoying mum. Man United, Memphis Depay. Yes, I'm suggesting that Manchester United do something they did 10 years ago, sign Memphis Depay. And I realize he was a completely inconsistent flash winger with zero end product. He was the original Anthony, some overrated clown cake who looked world class in the Eredivisie. So the idea of him joining Manchester United again, repeating the same mistake, what? They always say that the golden rule of football is that you should never go back. But I'm sorry, that is complete piggish nonsense. Just because a player failed for a club in his first spell, does that mean he's not allowed to go back for a second chance? Right. Are you telling me that Juventus would not have loved to have re-signed Thierry Henry in the mid-2000s after he'd already been a 3-goal Juve flop in 1999 just because he was a disappointing melon on their left wing in Serie A? Does that mean they'd have said no to him in 2006? No, the chairman would have bitten his arm off to get him to join. Similarly, Real Madrid would have loved to bring back Samuel Eto'o to the Bernabeu. Chelsea would have loved to re-sign Mo Salah. And similarly, Depay is no longer this crazily frustrating winger. For Manchester United, he would be a striker. At 30 years old, he's exactly the senior head that you need to rotate with Rasmus Højlund to allow the Danish striker to breathe. Playing as a sort of false 9, I think that Depay, he would be a superb 10-goal-a-season striker. Newcastle, Anthony Martial. Even I don't feel comfortable about this. Lads, Newcastle United were linked to Anthony Martial as soon as the takeover went through in 2021. But Newcastle, they were second bottom of the league. And Martial had recently just enjoyed a 23-goal season at Manchester United. He was still fresh off some quality form. Newcastle fans still had the image of him shipping Ben Foster during lockdown, scoring Manchester United's first Premier League hat-trick in 7 years. So yeah, a move for Martial was exciting. But I know what the reaction would be like if he was wheeled through the door now. Many a Geordie would get sick in their mouth. Martial is everything that Eddie Howe Ball is not, because he is a lazy, disinterested Aubameyang ex-striker who has barely done anything on a football pitch for years. Yes, true, but I also think that this man has been unmotivated since 2020. I don't think his football ability is just magically evaporated into dust. I just think he lost interest, had his confidence dented by a loan move to Sevilla that he probably didn't want, and now he is available on a free. But don't be shocked if he rips it up at his next club. I'd be like how Emmanuel Adebayor kept impressing every time he signed for someone new. Come on, there is still talent there. I know I'm being so generous in suggesting such a move for him, but I don't know. Off the ball, he is dreadful, sure. But on the ball, he's actually a very similar player to Alexander Isak. I mean, the Isak of 2024 and the Martial of 2019, there's not actually much between them. So as a like-for-like substitution, to have him on the bench, and if Eddie Howe can get him to work off the ball, making him feel part of this team, then surely he's worth a go. Nottingham Forest, Iker Muniain. Remember the name Iker Muniain? An absolute Spanish whiz kid in 2012, linked with Europe's elite. But then the transfer links all dried up when everyone realized that this Basque boy had no intention of ever leaving Athletic Bilbao, so nobody has bothered to buy him since. Well, after 19 years of being on their books, after 560 appearances and just 76 goals, this 31-year-old winger has finally been released. And look, he's obviously nowhere near the player he was in his 20s. And to see him wearing a shirt other than Bilbao, it would be weird. I'd be like seeing Simon Cowell wearing anything but a black t-shirt. It'll be strange, but I don't know. Nuno Santo, isn't he worth a punt? Southampton, Joel Matip. Look, I realize that a 32-year-old Joel Matip might have better offers than a relegation dogfight with Southampton. But come on, I think that the Saints are due a bit of Liverpool revenge after they consistently rated them for their best players over a 2-year period. Matip is a free agent after 8 years and over 200 appearances as a Liverpool centre-half. If Southampton could persuade him to hop on board, then I'm sorry, what an incredible signing this would be for free. Tottenham, Sergio Ramos. Is this insane? Maybe it is, but lads, throughout our entire lives watching football, haven't Tottenham just needed one player with a monster mentality? I know Sergio Ramos is 38 years old, and his legs have slowed down, but I also thought that when Chelsea signed Thiago Silva at a similar age, also on a free, he turned into arguably the best pound-for-pound signing in the club's history. At the minute, Ramos is apparently in talks with a club that don't even exist yet. San Diego FC in the MLS. Lads, for everyone who thinks his legs have gone, he just played 37 games for Sevilla last season, scoring 7 goals. The previous season, he managed 45 for PSG. The myth that Ramos is a bloated, chunky teddy bear who could no longer run. No, this man is aging like his Madrid mate Pepe. And I'm sure people would have laughed if Spurs had signed that man at 38 too. But he would have been a great signing as well. Bring in Ramos and just see. I think he could have a Thiago Silva impact in the Prem. West Ham are for Duncan. Remember when Liverpool wonder kid Bobby Duncan quit Anfield to storm out the door to Fiorentina? Yeah, his career was then chewed up like a banana pie. But Fiorentina have since signed another Duncan. And this one is good. 31-year-old Ghana international defensive midfielder Alfred Duncan. He's essentially a mini Thomas Partey, who's off the back of a 41-game season for Fiorentina. He's now available on a free. West Ham would be silly not to snap him up for squad depth on the bench. Wolves, Eric Choupo-Moting. Go on, Wolves. Why not? I realised that Eric Choupo-Moting was a joke in the Premier League with Stoke, but so was Joselu, and he's just won the Champions League with Real Madrid. Choupo-Moting has since played in that final with PSG and just hoovered up 3 Bundesligas and a FIFA Club World Cup with Bayern Munich, scoring nearly 40 goals across 4 seasons for the Germans. Look, I know he's off the back of a 2-goal Bundesliga campaign, but I'm sorry, the previous season, before the arrival of Harry Kane, 17 goals in 30 matches for Bayern Munich. That's like Thomas Muller's stats over the last 10 years. I know he's 35 years old, but still, a meaty target man like him, for free. Gary O'Neill could do much worse. Anyway, that's it. What do you think? Let me know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? What free signing would you want through the door? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to connect, share, as always. I'll talk to you in a while.